Yes, the College of Commissioners, well, we're hoping that they'll be able to give the green light to the new contract with Pfizer BioNTech. Of course, it's that contract to reserve 1.8 billion doses. The aim of those doses being to allow us to address future challenges linked to the variants, linked to the booster, the possibility to vaccinate children and so on. So it's so as to be able to properly address all of those challenges. That's why we entered into negotiations, as you know, with Pfizer, and we hope that the college will be able to give the go-ahead very soon. The thing is, though, that, of course, these negotiations with vaccine companies always take place together with the member states. It really is a joint project involving the Commission and the member states. So the member states have been involved in the negotiations. And the steering board, which is where we have the member state representatives, is still monitoring the procedure. So the procedure to see us arrive at a signing is underway. Thank you very much. I suggest that if you have any further questions on this, you could ask them you put them to Stefan now. So this contract with BioNTech Pfizer, which is being finalised, if you have any other questions.
In Berlin, people are saying in June we're going to start vaccinating children from the age of 12. For me, this is completely new, and I think that this is a change in your strategy. Yes, thank you, Eric, for all those questions. I'll give the floor to Stefan to continue with the clarifications on the contract and also to deal with the whole issue of vaccinating adolescents and children. Yes, thank you. Well, several questions. First of all, on what we've been reading in the press, that not all the member states feel the same way. Well, as I said, the steering board has representatives of all member states, and all these member states are representatives who've followed talks and negotiations, have been involved in those negotiations, and they have given their unanimous support to the conclusion of this contract with the BioNTech Pfizer. And they've also given their support to continuing with this joint approach, Commission member states, because this joint approach entails the possibility of concluding good contracts with vaccine companies. Regarding Commissioner Breton's position, there hasn't been any discussion in the college on this contract, so Commissioner Breton has not voiced any objections. He hasn't blocked a decision that might have been taken by the college on this, so that's not correct. Now, moving on to vaccination of children. As you know, we always follow the science. And in the course of contacts with the scientists, and I think that this has been clearly indicated by the President, when she presented the fact that we were going to start negotiations with BioNTech Pfizer, there are several challenges facing us, including the possibility of vaccinating children. So this is a possibility which is being considered at the moment on the basis of scientific advice. And that's why, one of the reasons why, we have decided to proceed with this big contract, 1.8 billion doses. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Stefan. And if I may, perhaps I could just add that this is not a change in the Commission's strategy regarding vaccination of children and adolescents. In the first phase, the first anti-COVID vaccines were developed, and they were tested, approved for use in the adult population. And then science has evolved, and the companies have carried out tests. They've tried to prepare vaccines in such a way that they're also available and suitable for children, so that they can remain safe. So obviously it's a matter of the dosage. and there are a lot of factors that need to be taken into account before a product is approved for children, not just adults. And the BioNTech Pfizer company, once they made their application with the EMA to get a marketing authorization for their vaccine for adolescents and children of more than 12 years, well, once they've done that, we will follow the scientific advice, and if the EMA recommends that or says that this vaccine is effective for this part of the population, the younger Europeans, then we will proceed, because it's also important to protect the youngest among us.
It's the company that has shared its data. The company is going to have to share its data on vaccines in children with the EMA before the EMA can give its opinion on that. But Stefan, perhaps you could run through that with us, please, and talk about timing. Yes, Dana, I think you're completely right. What's important is that the EMA, which is our scientific advisory body, be able to give its opinion on this. Because otherwise, as I've always highlighted, what's important for us is that we follow the scientific approach, so the EMA approach. As to the use of the BioNTech Pfizer vaccination in children, as you know, this request has been made to the EMA. EMA is looking into it, but they've already said that they're waiting, that they're expecting to have an opinion in June. Now, of course, all of the different elements have to be taken into account in this assessment. Once again, it's important that this kind of question go via the EMA. Thank you. Thank you very much, Stefan. Are there any other questions on this? Vaccines used in children, or the contract which is under finalisation?
We were on a different subject. We were on the question of vaccines and the next contract with BioNTech Pfizer. So if you don't mind, I will invite you to ask this question at the technical briefing, which will address precisely these questions of procedures, majorities and process. And that technical briefing will start in about 15 minutes, and I will try to give the floor to colleagues having other questions in the meantime. I think that I can explain. I didn't realize that he used A instead of the, but indeed I think that, that Stefan very clearly referred to the negotiations on the contract which is now being finalized. So the contract with BioNTech Pfizer for 1.8 for up to 1.8 billion doses of their vaccines for the following years. With regards to the college decision, the college, of course, can always make its decisions either in writing, in written procedure, or orally. So we expect indeed a decision very, very rapidly. So yes, a written procedure is envisageable as well.